Welcome to the Sioux Falls Elder Care Channel, brought to you by Tony Mao and the great folks of Right at Home Sioux Falls. Today's guest is Bobby Joe Leggett, State Program Director of Caregivers by Active Generations.
Hi, I'm Tony Mao, your host of the Elder Care Channel, and today with me is Bobby Joe Leggett from the Caregivers program here in Sioux Falls. So, Bobby Joe, would you mind just sharing with the group with what it is the Caregivers program is and what they do?
Absolutely. We are a statewide program. We offer support and education for family caregivers. So what that kind of means is we have evidence-based programming for family caregivers. And evidence-based programming actually means a proven method. So it's been tested and proven to show success. So all of our classes and things, anywhere from learning about resources to maybe dealing with the emotional side of being a family caregiver.
Okay. Can you expand on that a little bit? Can you give me any idea of what one of those programs looks like? What do you do?
Sure. So we have one particular program which is called Stress Busting for Family Caregivers. And it focuses either on somebody that's caring for a loved one with a chronic illness. It could be anywhere from dementia to Parkinson's, diabetes, and then we have one specifically for dementia in itself. And it's a 9-week class, once a week for an hour and a half, and we kind of go through the different feelings, is what I like to say, about what it's like to be a family caregiver. And each class is ended with a stress-reducing technique. So we do breathing and coloring and all kinds of fun things.
Good, cool. And you mentioned Sioux Falls. Do you do it in other places?
Absolutely. We are actually doing some classes in Aberdeen. We will be offering these in Rapid City, Viborg, Sioux Falls, Chamberlain, just about everywhere.
All over, all right. And is everything on site? Are you doing anything online?
Well, we are doing, some of our classes need to be in the community face-to-face, and some of them through our Aging Mastery program.
Okay.
Those can be offered online, and they're very interactive. Essentially what we will be doing is we will be mailing out books to people in the community, and then we will be giving them a password so that they can be interactive with each other.
Nice.
And so it's in real time is when we'll have the class, so that'll be online.
All right, very nice. Kind of a FaceTime class.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. We talked a little bit about the dementia or the Parkinson's or whatever it is. Can you give me an idea of if I'm a spouse of somebody with Parkinson's and I go to like a Stress Busters class, what is it that I might expect to learn there? I've been with this spouse for 30 years and now all of a sudden they're different. They're a different person. And maybe even dementia is a better example. But it's a different person, different situation in the home. So what is it that you're trying to do to help them cope with that new person now that they're living with?
Well, I think that that's a great question. It's something that we kind of walk through in this scenario. I think the best way to kind of answer that is, families, when we hear that our loved one's been diagnosed with something, we are ready to fight for them, and we want to help them the best that we can, and we go full force. And we tend to either neglect or not understand or forget that chronic means long term. And so we kind of tend to lose ourselves. So in these classes, what we really help and hope to have family caregivers understand is that they need to reconnect with themselves and understand that this was and is a life-changing thing that they're going through. So when their spouse is diagnosed with a chronic illness, everything changes, and I think we know that, but we don't really accept that sometimes.
The conscious side, right?
Yep, and so we spend our time fighting that.
Yeah. And I've sat in on a couple of your talks before, and it's an emotional subject.
Absolutely.
It's a very touching, deep, personal subject that you're covering.
Right. And everybody experiences those classes differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's, a great change where people tend to take some time for themselves. Sometimes it's just, getting that release of emotion that they need to. And it's very important in that group because everybody's a caregiver.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter in this particular instance that maybe everybody has a different chronic illness that they're dealing with, but they're all family caregivers, and they really are just there to support their loved one. response.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it earlier. I mean, everybody is different. Every
Right.
case is different. Every person reacts to it differently.
Right.
And so you're trying to provide that guidance to just kind of uniformity, to the consistency of being at home.
Right. And I think it's important too that sometimes we don't take into account that some of our feelings really kind of hinder
Yeah.
the acceptance of help and resources in the area.
Yeah.
And so even though we know that there's resources out there that can help us, we have something in us that's not ready to accept that yet.
Yeah.
And so we kind of talk through that process yet.
Yeah, well, it's a great program, and if you're looking for more information on it, please go check out their website, or please call Bobby Joe for any more information. So from the Elder Care Channel, we are signing off. Thank you very much.